Hi there, my name is Kate Mejicano and I am here with Aaliyah. I want to spend a few minutes talking to you all about grief. Grief in the time of coronavirus. Doesn't quite have the same ring as love in the time of cholera, but, we'll work with it. So, blanket statement, I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about traditional grief. I think people are pretty familiar with that. When someone passes away, there's a mourning process, and that's pretty normal, pretty natural, and understandable, and generally something I think people understand. This is not at all to minimize those of you who are mourning a real, tangible loss of human life. That is 100% real, and really, really relevant, and I'm so sorry. But I think that there's a lot of folks out there that are dealing with less tangible loss. Maybe it's ambiguous loss or anticipatory loss, and just kind of encompasses losses that aren't as direct and are struggling with calling that grief. And I really can just throw out a handful of examples that I've been experiencing. Loss of freedom. All the stay-at-home or shelter-in-place orders means, you don't have the same level of freedom as you usually do. Loss of sense of safety. Not feeling like you're confident that you are or will stay healthy and well. Loss of security. And whether that's a sense of security that, experts are prepared and will be able to take care of you if you go to a hospital, or that your government would provide for you, or just general security that you'll still have a job tomorrow. So I think people are dealing with lots and lots of different layers of loss. And it's all been kind of shaken up with this, as, our normal has drastically changed during these times. And so I just kind of want to acknowledge that, and also help people understand that this anxiety and these feelings that they may be experiencing, this is grief. And it's grief that's happening on a collective scale that I haven't seen in my lifetime. Globally, this is pretty substantial. And collectively, we need to mourn. We need to move through the stages of grief together. And so I think, and just briefly, I'll just go through the stages of grief. And please keep in mind that grieving is not an organized, linear process. So the stages don't happen in a specific order, and you can be, you can think you moved through one stage and then end up back there, another day. So just be gentle with yourself and keep that in mind throughout all of this. But the stages of grief, there are 5 of them. These are developed by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And then there's a 6th one that got added on by David Kessler that I'm going to talk a little bit about as well. So there's denial. And I see this, it's common, right? People want to minimize this. They want to say, this won't affect me, and, you'll see pictures of folks at the beach or wherever, not social distancing, and I gotta assume that they're in denial. They're in denial about the real risks that they're exposing themselves to by doing that, and the risk that they can be putting other people at. There's anger, and this you can see all over the place, lots of different ways, but one of the big ones I see is like, you can't tell me to stay inside, and I'm not going to do that, and, blah, 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 you're not doing enough, blah, 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 blah. Bargaining. So those are the folks that are like, okay, I'll be inside, I'll social distance for 2 weeks, and then everything will be fine, right? Everything will go back to normal. We'll all come out of our houses, and the pandemic will be over, and will be all good? Yeah? Probably not. Then there's sadness, which is, I'm gonna get sick and die, my kids are gonna get sick, my parents are gonna get sick, everything is gonna be awful, the hospitals can't take care of us, and I'm just gonna, everything is the worst it could possibly be. And just being devastated by that. And getting stuck there in some of that fear and some of that sadness, not being able to move on or find the hope in the situation. And then there's acceptance. And acceptance that, yeah, things really are bad. Things are bad, and this is a moment in time. I think because of the anticipatory grief, which has to do a lot with uncertainty and anxiety around what the future may hold, the fact that we don't know what the future may hold or how long this will last. I think people can get kind of stuck in that anxiety space. But I think it's important to keep in mind that we will get through this. This is only a moment in time, although a long one, and a significant one. But it is something that humanity, collectively, we can get through. And then the 6th stage of grief, which is, again, David Kessler kind of developed this with the blessings of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's family, is meaning. And that is, how do you make meaning of this situation? And what lessons can you take from it? And how can you integrate this into your own personal growth and collectively how we will grow and change as a world, as a community? And that, I think, is, for me at least, is where the hope lies. I think there's a lot of people out there like trying to find silver linings in this. The environmental impact, the clear skies over LA or China, and dolphins coming back to Venice. I think there's a lot that people are seeing and looking for the good in things. And so I just encourage you to be gentle with yourself as you move through the stages. Recognize that there are a whole bunch of different forms of loss, and try to be kind to those around you, and recognize that they are grieving too. So just practice as much compassion as you can, because we need it. We need it for ourselves, and we need it for everyone else. Above all, do what love would do.